Okay. Question? You don't need to go get yesterday's sheet. You can watch me. It'll be good enough. Today's sheet is just like yesterday's sheet. So if you didn't work it out, it's good. Now, I made up a new rule for myself because I'm sick and tired of doing something stupid like going over here and looking for the strip that's no longer there. Then I moved to this side of the board. So I made a rule with the last class. Jerry sits there. Quishambito, or however you pronounce his name?
Kuchimbo.
Yeah, him. So he sits there. Every time I go for it and I make a mistake, I walk over to his desk, I lean over, and he smacks me in the back of the head. So you have my permission to do that.
Why can't I do that?
Because you don't sit there. That's the shot, right there,
I want to smack
in the
you.
back of the
I'm
head.
sorry, but I really
By the end of the period, I was pretty good. I only got hit twice during the period, so.
Kaylee's too nice for that. So
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, Kaylee's
So
too nice.
you give me a shot? Okay.
You know you're my homie, but
Yeah. No, sometimes it's called tough love.
yeah.
And
No.
tough love is important in this world. I love my sons, but I'm not gonna coddle them into making more mistakes. If they need a smack in the back of the head, they're gonna get a smack in the back of the head. Okay, I promise you I will not get you in trouble. I mean, if you wailed on me with a closed fist, I might,
What if the
but
principal walks in, all you see is Kaylee?
I will take full blame.
He
Okay.
walks in, it's like,
Have you figured out yet that I'm not like other teachers?
yeah. What is Dr. Chilba saying? Hitting you in the back of the head.
You're only allowed one per shot. You can't hit multiple shots. All right, only one.
Can I hit you too?
No, it's whoever sits there.
Us three.
Now everybody's like, I want the front seat. All right. Atención, por favor. Lancaster, I'm going to give all the people around you permission to do to you what I want them doing to me. Now, pay attention. There we go. Okay. Okay. Yesterday we started to introduce, yesterday we started to introduce the concept of slope. And slope, we said, we gave this exact example, and we said, well, what do you think it is? And you're like, it's the angle of the line. It's kind of how steep it is, the slope of the line. And we noticed that, like, if I wanted to walk on this line, that wouldn't be a bad walk. I could do that. It's a gentle up. It's kind of like a ramp, maybe like a wheelchair ramp they have in back of school. All right, that would be easy. But what about if I walked up this ramp?
You would.
Good luck.
You can go for it. It's okay.
Yeah, I know, right? Then I'll look like the human math teacher bowling ball. Okay. All right. What about this one?
Yeah.
I see a number of people not paying attention. What about this one, guys?
Be like annoying.
Right, not as, it's kind of in between. You know, you might be able to do it, but maybe you'd have to like get down and use your hands, kind of go on all fours like a bear crawl, that kind of thing. What about this one?
That's okay.
Yeah, that's going down, right?
Oh, it's going down. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of easy to do. All
It's kind of like for my shoelace.
right. Now, we would say that we always read lines from left to right. We would say that this is going up. Up is positive. Up is positive. Up is positive. It's not as big a number, but it's still positive. Any slope that goes in this direction is a positive slope. What is this slope going? Down. So that would be a negative slope. So any slope that goes in a down direction is a negative slope. Now I want you to think before you answer. If a positive slope goes up like this, the negative slope goes down like this, what do you suppose the slope of a perfectly horizontal flat line would be?
Zero. Neither.
Well, it definitely has a value. No, because one's a positive number, so it would be like that.
Zero.
Zero. The reason it's zero, guys, what number is between the positives and the negatives on a number line? Zero. So just like it's on, zero is between positives and negatives on a number line, zero is between positives and negatives with a slope. Now, it's very difficult for me to measure this. Like, if I looked at any of these four lines and I said, well, that one looks really steep, and that one's not quite as steep, and that one over there looks kind of in between, oh, that guy's negative. It's very difficult to assign a number value to slope, unless,
Don't do it. No. Can I?
thank you. Okay. All right, unless,
That was so cute. So your wife.
now, what'd you do in school today? My kid smacked me. Okay, now,
You know what? It's
okay, now, I know you tried to warn me. Now, We gotta toughen you up to be a good mom. Sometimes you gotta let your kid make a mistake and give it a shot. Now, now. All right.
Mexican mom. Like, oh, stop.
Now, if I take the same lines and I put them on a graph, I can now begin to give them a number value. I can kind of measure them, okay? So that's what I want to do here. So here's 3 lines, and on your paper, well, actually, you can watch this because you're going to do it on your paper in a couple of minutes. What I'm going to do is make a mark, and make a mark, and make a mark. I'm making those marks wherever horizontal and vertical lines meet, okay? And then, what I want to do is count how I would move. That's a very important word. Ladies, this is not cool. You need to turn. How you would move from one point to the next point. As if you were walking blocks like here, you're walking toward Main Street and taking Division and Academy and all the others. Now, if I was to walk from this blue dot to this blue dot, how would I move? Up what? 2 over 1. So we would say the slope is 2 over 1. Now, not so coincidentally, one of the things I like that's really cool about this, first off, at your age, I despised math with a passion, but I'm sure if you read the headlines any day, you look around anywhere, this world is really chaotic and really messed up in a really awful, horrible, evil world that we live in. If you don't believe that, you just don't read the papers. Because just in the last couple of days, we've got everything from the government making you owe them $50,000 and you haven't done anything to deserve, to possibly bankrupting the country, to a pit bull mauling a 9-year-old in Nassau County.
Bankrupting the country?
Oh, yes. You've got ISIS terrorists beheading people, just lopping their heads off. We got all this horrible, awful stuff in the world going on. So sometimes I really, really like the world to make sense. And for there to be consistency, and no matter how you look at it, you arrive at the right answer. So here's an example of that. Look, we said to go from here to here, it's up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and I get that slope of 2 over 1. But what if I skip the middle point and I just went from here to here? I would go up how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. Let me ask you a question. What does 4 over 2 reduce to? 2 over 1. So all of that time that you spent learning about fractions, and you say, well, why do I need to know how to reduce these things? Well, here's an example where on a graph, whether you look at it as up 2 over 1 or up 4 over 2, either way, you're going to arrive at the same exact line with the same exact points. Okay, now, let's take a look at this one. Here's a point on an intersecting point. Here's one. Here's one. How do I move from this lower left point to this middle point? Up how many? 1 over 3. So that slope is 1/3. Now, with slope, there are 3 different formulas. We're going to investigate them in just a minute. But for now, I'm very happy with you being able to count it on a graphing line. That's good enough for me. Let's take a look at the next one. I'm going to go from here to here to here, and I can even go here. What's that slope? Anthony? It is negative, good. Negative what over what?
It's negative.
Down how many?
It's negative 1.
Down 1 over 1.
Yeah.
So it's negative 1 over 1. And just to emphasize the point, isn't it true that I could have went down 3 over 3?
Yeah.
And what does negative 3 over 3 simplify to? Negative 1 over 1. So either way, it's going to work. So we see that. Now, does anybody remember from last year the letter we used to indicate slope?
Nope.
Well, it's changing y over changing x is the formula, but that's not the letter that we use to indicate slope. It's one of A, B, C, D, all the way to Z. Does anybody remember which letter it is? It's really stupid. At first, it seems stupid, but it's actually brilliant.
Can I guess and say Q?
No. No, you're forgetting. It's M.
Oh,
Okay.
Z.
Do you remember this formula?
It's like M something.
Y equals mx plus b?
Yeah.
Okay. And we said that M stands for slope, and B is going to stand for the y-intercept. Well, listen, what's brilliant about this, absolutely brilliant, is the slope is how you move. And what letter does move start with? M. So the M actually works for this. To go from here to here, I move up 1 over what? 3. Okay. So let's take another little step further. Here's my 3 slope formulas. Now, I know Mr. Frank is really into graphing, so all of you who had Mr. Frank, I think you're gonna be able to look at these and remember at least one of them, perhaps two. Some people say that slope is rise over run. Now, rise means up and down, okay? So, it's the change in the y, up and down, over the change in the x. The next one is this triangle symbol means change in. It's a Greek letter, delta for difference. Change in y over change in x. And the last one says y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Ultimately, we will use the last one most, but at this point in time, we're not going to use any of these too much. Now, I just want you to know that they all mean the same exact thing. There is no difference between them, and you can use whichever one you like as we explore them more and more over the next few days. It's the same exact thing as this. I could say hello, aloha, hola, or shalom. What do all four of those words mean? Hello. It's just different ways of saying hello. Bonjour. Now, this is the same exact thing. These are three different ways of saying slope. Okay. So now, let's just do two of these. Guys, let's do two of these. If I want to go from this point to this point, what is my slope? Just think it through. Give everybody a second to think it through. Shh. Dylan, what do you think?
4 over 2.
Up 4 over 2. Good.
Yeah, that's right.
By the way, what is it from here to here?
2.
Up 2 over 1. And doesn't 4 over 2 reduce to 2 over 1?
Yeah.
Good. What about here? If I go from here to here. Brendan, what do we got?
Negative,
Mm-hmm.
and it's 2, no, 1 under 2.
1 over 2. Right. Definitely negative because the slope is going down. This is a down direction. And then he's going to go down 1 over 2. Okay? One last one. What about here? What would be my slope of this line? Gavin, what do you think? 1 over 1. Good. I'm going to go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And to emphasize a point we said before, same thing as 3 over 3. So if you said 3 over 3 or even 2 over 2, you would be completely correct. Okay? Any questions? All right. So that was yesterday's sheet. So that, I'm now satisfied that we've covered enough of yesterday's sheet. Now what I want to do is go to today's sheet. And before we go any further, I would like you to get to do it from today's sheet done. And we're going to go over the same exact questions again as we did before. So here's to do it. I'm going to give you, I would say maybe 3 minutes to get those questions done. And then we'll go over each of those 3 minutes, even less. 2 minutes to get those done. You know what, in fact, pay attention only to number 1 and number 2. Just do those two very quickly. Yes? No, I was going to start you with a quiz today. I'm going to start you with the quiz Thursday instead.
Do you need a double quiz?
No, just a single quiz. What? Yeah, I'm recording.
Hi, YouTube.
All right, come on, do your stuff.
Shh.
Come on. No, now you can do your work now. After the bell rings, you can get your test.
I don't want to hit you.
Shh. Come on. Sam, how we doing there?
Good.
Sure?
Good.
Okay. So I wrote the answers to the first one on the board. Take a look, see what you think. Compare it to your answers. I know, I haven't gone back and finished it up yet, I'll do that in just a minute. But up until now, how many people have this so that they're looking at it and going, I'm with you here? Okay, so then I get my answer to be 6. So my first one is 6. What's the next one? 7. How'd you get 12?
7. Oh, sorry.
N is 6, n plus 1. What's next? 8. Now what does the question ask for? Middle integer, which is 7. Now keep in mind, I do like you to cross out when you wrote the 3 consecutive integers, cross that out. When you wrote equals 21, cross that out. And sum when you add them up. Okay, next. It better have work shown like that. If it doesn't have work shown like that, you wouldn't get points. Next. Johnny says the value of 5 to the negative 2 is negative 25. Is Johnny right or wrong? Everybody? Wrong. Hun, negative exponent? So this would be 1 over 5 to the 2, which is 1 over 25. All right. Let's take a look.
Oh.
Yo, second time.
That's a tap.
Kaylee.
See, I told you.
Ike Turner, the back. So he won't.
Isn't it a good thing if you
Find the
want to hurt
slope,
yourself?
ladies, gentlemen. Oh boy.
I know you don't want to hurt yourself. Tells me not to hit adults.
You have my permission, it's me, it's not all adults. Now, I want you to do these 3. 1, 2, 3. Find those slopes. Krista, ahead in the game. These slopes. These three slopes.
So wait, there's stuff from ours together.
What's that?
Just from this side of that out.
Just you got to find a point to a point that's right on an intersection. Okay, highly mathematical. Okay, so I'm going to go from here to here. What's the slope of that line? Help me out here. Kim, what do we get for the slope of this line? 4 over 1 is right. Up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1.
Wait, why'd you start there?
Because it's a point that's exactly where the lines meet.
Oh, it has to be.
Yeah, exactly where they meet. This one's going to go from here to here. What's that slope going to be? Gavin? Actually, you have it back. It's negative 5 over 1. Right? Because the up and down goes first. It's going down 5 places over 1. And what about this line right here? Where we're going to go from here to here, up 1 over 2. All right, folks. Hasta la vista. Vaya con Dios. Toodaloo. Ta-ta. Arrivederci. Smile a lot. Ciao. Arrivederci. Adios, amigos y amigas. Garusharus. Kadafis or Kodafis. Have a great day. Oh, your test. Yeah.
What's that bag of trail mix Weston?
A week and a half. Maybe 2 weeks.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
He has to edit it out.
I won't edit it out.